REST APIs were like the amazing interoperability layer. And so you had everything from like blog roles, so you could link out to your friends, to um, you know, a lot of social media at the time. Again, early 2000s, mid to early 2000s, a lot of social media had REST APIs. And then all of a sudden, this idea of these like closed walled gardens came in, and so the Web 2.0 kind of went away. It was like, hey, Instagram came out. I want to be able to post an image like I can to Flickr with an API, and Instagram's like, no, you're not doing that, and that's even pre Facebook buyout.
Hmm.
So what's really interesting is that with LLMs, folks are starting to relearn that lesson that like interoperability is actually a good thing.
Hmm.
If you have and it's kind of sad because like we lost that, I think, like having really great RESTful APIs, we lost that from the public web. And MCP has a chance where it's like, if I do a search in Gemini for a product, I want to be able to see those products. Well, I want to be able to like buy now. Like when I say, another example, I did a search for I was comparing mattresses. So I was like, we have this old mattress, I guess it's discontinued, can you tell me what's the closest one? I'm not going to try and figure out like Reddit posts and all that. Just Gemini, just tell me which is the newer version of this mattress. So would love to be able to just check out. And so MCP has the potential of solving that. And some of the, even the, I'm not the biggest Chat GPT fan, but uh even like the app stuff that Chat GPT is doing, which is like just loosely disguised MCP servers,
Right.
or at least that's my understanding. Um, all of a sudden having an open ecosystem is becoming important again in like an open platform. So that will be really interesting. Um, Being able to like getting back to like, it's so weird that we're backing ourselves into Web 2.0 again with through MCP. Um, and luckily we have all the PMs that are on board with this now instead of the nerds trying to push RESTful APIs because we all wanted to talk to each other.
Right, because now suddenly we need to be able to have a website that has its capabilities, its core capabilities exposed in a predictable way to a machine.
Yeah. And the research that we're doing around MCPs in the edge delivery space is really interesting. So again, right, as I sort of close, or as I sort of said, like we chose certain technologies as sort of self-preservation because we were a small team. One of the things that we sort of kicked down the road was search. We have like it's funny because our search is really just a filter.
Right.
We pull down every single document and then we search it and we say, does the string exist or not? You're searching the raw HTML. The crazy thing is I was just waiting. I've just been waiting for someone to say like your search is not fancy like Google or Elasticsearch or any of those, Algolia. I've just
Right.
been waiting for someone to say like, technically speaking, our search is like the dumbest thing in the world. Pull down every single document in a tree, see if the text exists or not,
Hmm.
and not a single non-technical person has said a thing. They do a search, they find exactly what they want, and it is very terse. Amald actually just added case sensitivity or turning off case sensitivity because
Oh
we
my
were
gosh.
very like what you search is what you search. Um, and so technically speaking, it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to pay that off at some point. Some customer is gonna come along and say your search is not good enough. And the hilarious thing is no one has said anything. We've had some like interesting feature requests of like decorating the search better, of like allow me to scope my search to a block, allow my search to scope to a value, but we've never had anyone say this is not using, like, no one has ever said this is not using Elasticsearch or anything like that. So what's interesting is that we have an MCP for DA, and just playing around with it. And again, it's all research. We don't have any announcements to make as far as shipping or anything. So I was just playing with it in general. And so I said, my canonical example of uh, testing things in DA is the AEM sites page. Um, so I always, for some reason, like if somebody wants to see a demo or something, I'm like, let's go look at the AEM sites page. Because it's a good metaphor of like, I'm on a call. Some partner is like, edge delivery can't handle big sites. And I'm like, our literal AEM sites page is in DA being hosted on edge delivery. So it kills a lot of birds. But what's fun about it is, so I'm on the MCP and I add my bearer token and I go, find me the AEM sites page. And it's like, okay, I'm in business started. I'm in the tree of business started. I think I gave it a little more help. It was like, find me the AEM sites page in the Adobe Baycom project. And it's like, okay, it listed the first list, and it says, hey, in my world knowledge, I know that AEM sites is a Adobe product. So, and I see a folder called products. Okay, I'm gonna go list the products page. Oh, I see a folder called Experience Manager. AEM Sites is associated with Experience Manager. I'm gonna go list that, and then I'm going to list. I think it was called. There's like one other level, I think maybe. And so what's crazy is like in our current search again, which is a glorified filter, it lists everything, and then it goes until you're happy and you stop the search. But this was intelligent enough. And so now I'm thinking like, okay, so if I take that no one has really complained that they can't do like multi-word searches or like
Right.
and searches or searches, not a single person has asked for this. It's really wild. If I take that and then we have this really great MCP server, and if we put an MCP in the UI, does this pass our test of like setting it up for success, or are we setting it up for failure? And that's what all this research is like, do we like this ourselves because we're a customer ourselves? And so that's the other piece, is like, I think MCP is going to be really interesting. And the other and maybe last piece to this is that AI has fundamentally shifted how we build DA. 2025 has been such a success story for AI and DA in how we build and how we build DA. So early on, when I went through all the research of what actual text editor to use, like the underlying thing, and I even tried rolling our own, and it was like there's too many weird browser quirks with editing text. So we standardized on this thing called Prosmir. And I always knew that Prosmir was incredibly powerful, incredibly flexible, but the API documentation was real rough. And so the first year and a half, or I guess like 2 years of DA, building anything into the editor, it was like kiss 2 weeks goodbye to like make, like if I paste in https www.google.com, like I want you to automatically convert this into a link. And it's like, okay, I need to know where your selection is. I need to know where you paste it. I need to know like all these, like building a plugin for that, like originally took to do like auto paste links, took like a week of traditional research and everything.
Right.
This year, we have made such incredible strides to the author experience inside DA for the document because of AI. Because we can say, let's build a working example of any sort of feature. there's both good and bad to this. So the good is like some of our more seasoned like people that have used LLMs a lot and know like what is good at what it's not have the sort of oversight, right? You have this really eager junior level engineer right now, and sometimes that junior engineer is really great, and sometimes it's really bad,
Right.
and your feedback loop is way faster. It's not like
Mhm.
you go send a junior engineer off and they go spend 2 weeks and then you come back and it's like, oh my gosh, we just wasted 2 weeks on all of this. It's like,
They may have been developing. They may have been playing Call of Duty.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So um that's been one thing that's like fundamentally changed. And so we have to um it has accelerated DA's development, but then just for as many times as an engineer says, "Whoa, AI saved me a ton of time, and here's a really great looking PR that's like really concise and really well thought out, and all of this." We also have other engineers that are like, "Hey, I just vibe coded this. Of course you want it," and it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so that's the one thing is like, and I'm all about vibe coding and I'm all about PMs, especially vibe coding. It's like go iterate with your junior level engineer, figure out all the things you forgot to think about. Like if you would have come to me in a different day, like a different age, you would come to me with your half baked ideas. Like go get that all sorted out with
Right.
junior level engineer.
Right.
And then let's go have like you can save both of us a crap ton of time, you vibe coding with your junior level engineer, and then you come to me with like a fully baked idea that where you know all the edge cases. I don't have to come and figure out all the edge cases for you. Your junior LLM engineer did. Um, so I'm a huge fan of that. And again, it's pick your poison, right? So as we're doing research on this structured content, this incredible engineer, he went and vibe coded this thing and it was like, okay, there's something to this idea. Let's go like maybe try to start making it real so we can put it in front of customers, because I do not want to have a customer support ticket on top of all this LLM generated code. But we got the idea and it's like, okay, there's something to this. So um that's another piece is like LLM has AI has really impacted in a mostly positive way. I would say like 80% positive. LLM has really accelerated how quickly we can build things in DA. And again, it the responsibility is ours to make sure it's architecturally sustainable. Sometimes that junior engineer knocks it out of the park, and sometimes it doesn't. And so you hope that when the person hits submit on that PR, that they've already done all of the sort of mentorship to get it into a good working state. But from a content creation perspective, again, more thoughtful content is going to be key. And then MCP, don't sleep on MCP even for your regular site. Go read Frank's post again. I couldn't recommend that post enough. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think that this is going to be we got like what 4 months now or something like that, or 3 months and change until Adobe Summit.
Yeah.
Traditionally, in the ye old days of shrink wrap product versions and stuff like that, we'd all be like waiting for what is the new thing that you're going to come out with by Adobe Summit. Yeah. I almost feel like right now, like there's such a velocity of advancement month after month. Personally, I'm looking forward to folks getting a congealed set of understanding around what is the state of product categories now. Because there's so many of these established product categories that you were assuming were going to perform a function, and is that function even needed anymore? Or if it is needed, what should it do in my job of creating content? So this is it's a wild time to be alive.